Sides of a story. Both sides of a story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
I saw my land in the morning, and oh, but she was fair. The hills flamed upwards, scorning death and failure here. I saw through the mist of the morning a wave set free, faith to the dawn returning, dark tide, bright unity. I my friends in the morning, call from an equal gate, build now whilst time is running, forward before it's late. The old gods awake, past and future break, on as the voices roll, move as a single whole, forward, 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 O country, to your goal. You by Desmond Decker and the Aces, another of the early festival songs here in Jamaica. And before that, Jamaica by M.G. Smith. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, Science for Sustainable Development Action for Road Safety. A 27th day of the 7th 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 27th day of the second month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, and according to the local weather forecast, there's a weak high-pressure ridge across Jamaica and a low-level jet stream across the central Caribbean. Both the ridge and the low-level jet stream will remain throughout today. Tomorrow, a trough will move across the island. The rest of this afternoon will see isolated showers and thunderstorms across hilly areas and sections of southern parishes. It will be windy along the south coast, and tonight will be mainly fair. Elsewhere in the region, there's a high-pressure ridge across the northern Caribbean and a trough across Panama. Now, my general understanding of these meteorological terms is that when you hear of a term like high-pressure ridge, fair weather, if there is a trough, then it means there will likely be some kind of precipitation, another word for rain, precipitation. So some kind of, I'm not going to say bad weather, but weather that is other than fair. Just trying to keep it as simple as possible. But with the case of the high pressure ridge too, I've read that there could be some activity in coastal areas. There's a dryness as well that comes with that, off the top of my head. But just stick to the information that I've already shared. And but what I've said in terms of the basics, my understanding is that high pressure usually means fair weather. That's not to say you can't have otherwise. Relatively fair weather conditions as well. That trough now speaks to something that has to do with some kind of weather system other than the regular run-of-the-mill sunny, windy, cool, cold. You get a little more. There you go. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We have an idea of what's happening weather-wise, and you have seen and you have experienced wet weather. The forecast is quite explicit in that regard. The rest of this afternoon being an afternoon of isolated showers and thunderstorms across hilly areas. So that's forward and of southern parishes, and it will be windy along the south coast. It will be mainly fair. And we usually give you the forecast once we're in the hurricane season. We usually give you the forecast so you can be prepared even when there's no significant system out there. But usually once the hurricane season starts, we usually give the weather forecast here on both sides of the story. It's Cross Atlantic Communication Day in the USA, Lupan Day in Hong Kong, Revolution Day in Cuba, and Victory Day in North Korea. More in a moment.
Walk into Marjan's Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, code 876-703-6335. The telephone Marjan's Pharmacy is 215. Call Marja Black Quarry and Black Factory for all size splits, stone dust, marl, block mix, 4 inch, 6 inch, and 8 inch blocks. Their blocks are certified by the Bureau of Standards and they deliver island-wide. Hardware's homeowners, contractors. Call them at 876-964-9871 or 876-964-3246. Building Jamaica Block for 30 years. Call them today for quotation.
Farmers, come for candid conversation with the Colonel Charles Jr. Learn more about the agriculture we all play with its development. That's a morning with the minister. Every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alan Mackenzie here on Power 106 FM.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm this Thursday, July 28 from 2 to 5 p.m. for a broadcast from the Runaway Bay All-Age School in St. Anne, highlighting the parish's success stories and featuring discussions with stakeholders that will identify solutions to the challenges and issues being faced by citizens of the parish. This broadcast is brought to you by Anthony Brown Funeral Home, Mays Tiles and Bathroom Supplies, and Biomed Pharmacy. That's a live broadcast of Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm this Thursday, July 28 from 2 to 5 p.m. for St. Anne Parish Focus, right here on Power 106 FM.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. Join us this Wednesday, July 27 in Healthy Conversations with Dr. Jackie. We'll be discussing the link between heart disease and sleep, workplace wellness, and the effects of chronic renal failure and much more. You're invited to call in with your health questions and concerns. 876-922-4112-5. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, July 27 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development will host its public town hall meeting, focusing on the major achievements of the ministry and its affiliated agencies. Power 106 FM from Runway Bay All-Day School in Thursday, July 28 from 6 to 8 p.m. for a live broadcast from the event. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. That's a broadcast from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development's Public Town Hall meeting this Thursday, July 28 from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Hoy es miércoles el 27 de julio 2022. Les saludamos escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. Vendredi le 27 juillet 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de ceux parce que nous savons que vous avez l'honneur du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission Esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 27th of July, 2022, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choice. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9, from Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuning in via the Power 106 FM, which you have downloaded from the App Store or Google Play Store, depending on the nature and extent of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. Looking forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send your text messages, your WhatsApp, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And we're all over social media, as you're well aware. In fact, we're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page, or at least so we thought. Think we have done so many episodes from this device that we now need to create a little more space well, more than a little more space in terms of the brain of the system, so to speak. So the system has slowed down a bit. So there's another bit of work adding to our list of things to do. In the meantime, though, YouTube is up and running and buzzing. No issues there. And so we encourage you, if you're having a difficulty picking us up on Facebook Live, then by all means, go ahead to YouTube. YouTube is up and running. Absolutely no issues there. And while we're at it, then let's just say hi to those of you who are already on board. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Hello, Cherry Henry. How are you? Sean Chambers says, good afternoon, Uncle Dervan, and how are you doing? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Good afternoon. Donovan Campbell, good day to you too, and thanks on behalf of the listeners for your afternoon greeting. Cherry Henry says, Mr. Dervan, every radio station working good except Power 106 FM. Yes, we're embarrassed actually, Cherry Henry. We're embarrassed by that situation. And we trust that we will enjoy a greater level of consistency sooner than later. I'm sure the engineers will tell you, Cherry Henry, that they are working. I'm sure they will tell you that. We have no doubt that they try, but it seems and more that is required for a greater level of consistency to kick in. We'll see. Karine Campbell, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. She says, I'm giving God thanks for life. And she says, Power 106 FM is not so clear, St. Thomas Western. Again, we're embarrassed by that and we're sorry. And we trust these matters will be rectified sooner than later. Karine Campbell also says, congratulations to all our athletes who participated in the World Championships. We're very proud of you all. Let us continue to encourage them. We join you in expressing similar sentiments. Let's see now. Right, so let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners site, jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's see how many of these messages we can clear now. Where do we start? In fact, there are some messages from yesterday as well. Good afternoon, Paulette Saunders. Thank you very much for tuning in as usual. Moralist says, Mr. Michael Manley did cut up 5 acres of land under land lease and gave farmers $6,000 to build concrete tanks. My mom built with her money, and that tank is now giving to those who eat. That tank is now giving to those who eat or ate their money, I think you're trying to say. When I was a child, farming was the thing in that time. Well done, moralist. Thank you for your message. Georgia G says, good afternoon, Devon. Is it possible to send me the contact details of the NWC representative that you always reach out to for help with these issues? Well, it's easier for us to send this message to the representative of the NWC rather than to send you the contact details of the representative of the NWC. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to forward your message in its original state to Andrew Cannon of the National Water Commission. And we're also going to share your number with Andrew Cannon of the National Water Commission. So let's do this now. Right now, we're forwarding the message, your message to Andrew Cannon. We're also going to be sending Georgia G's number to Andrew Cannon for him to act accordingly. So here's the contact now being forwarded to Andrew Cannon. Oops, look at the time. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:31 on Power 106.
Contractors and developers, Coast to Coast Quarries is having a 20% discount sale on cash purchases on all size stones. We specialize in washed sand and stones of all sizes. And for all your concrete needs, including blocks and dust, look no further. Coast to Coast Quarries, Albion, Yala, St. Thomas. Call 706-3230. Take advantage of this super deal.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. Join us this Wednesday, July 27 in Healthy Conversations with Dr. Jackie. We'll be discussing the link between heart disease and sleep, workplace wellness, and the effects of chronic renal failure and much more. You're invited to call in with your health questions and concerns. 876-922-4112-5. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, July 27 at 8 p.m. only on 106 FM.
Both Sides of a Story.
Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm this Thursday, July 28 from 2 to 5 p.m. for a broadcast from the Runaway Bay All-Age School in St. Anne, highlighting the parish's success stories and featuring discussions with stakeholders that will identify solutions to the challenges and issues being faced by citizens of the parish. This broadcast is brought to you by Anthony Home, Main Styles and Bathroom Supplies, and Pharmacy. That's broadcast of Both Sides of the Story. July 28 from 2 to 5 p.m. Focus here on Power 1.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Once again, the lines are wide open, ready for your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Let's go up the line with some more messages. Darrell was reporting yesterday. She says, "Good evening, Dervan. Afternoon, Darrell. I beg to second our very weak, and this is my station as well, 106.1 and 106.9. Dervan, I would like for you to try it whenever you're, oh, trust me, Darrell, I am so taken up with the quality output when it comes to broadcast media that I never miss an opportunity to check if the signals are actually going out as they should, if we're actually having the kind of reach we need to. And I remain disappointed. You we we look forward to better in that regard. We really do. Thank you for your message or string of messages. Let's forward this string of messages to the transmission group, the transmission WhatsApp group. That's as much as we are able to do. Naturally, if we had the skills of an engineer, we would be quite prepared to help to fix the problem for free. Free. Guaranteed. If I had the skills of an engineer, I would fix the problem for free. And if it required buying equipment, I'd have to find a way to dig into my pocket. Because you see, if people can hear you, then it means you can create a market. And if you create a market of listeners, then it means sponsors will be beating down your door to place their ads. And if that happens, it means those of us who would have worked for free and would have dipped into our pocket to acquire parts or procure parts, then it means we will be able to get some form of compensation, which will then multiply in terms of everybody benefiting. Once people are able to hear us, everybody benefits. Everybody. Thank you for your message. Let's see who else's messages here on WhatsApp. Let's see. This one yesterday as well from Crocs in Black River. Greetings. I have a sneaking feeling if Russ Lloyd was to be told that a passage has been booked for him to Africa, along with luggage and sufficient funds on which he could lead a comfortable life, he would immediately head for the hills, never to be seen or heard from again. We hear you loud and clear, Crocs. Thank you very much for your message. There are a couple of voices, and invariably we don't get a chance to try, but we don't get a chance to listen to these voice notes to determine how to proceed. Press, otherwise known as Spite, says, "Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. I'm doing a case study on Payne Avenue. I don't know how well you know there, or when was the last time you passed there. I'm noticing some transformation of Payne Avenue. I saw about 4 brand new businesses open on that on that avenue. And you know where they built them? Right in front of the Zoso. 4 lovely buildings. Just the criminals who are hell-bent to keep these communities back. We are familiar with Payne Avenue, otherwise known as Payneland. Yes, we are. And we haven't driven through the area in a little while to see the buildings you're speaking of. But I think I'm remembering at least one on that road that you turn to go where I think Salada used to be. Right there. I think there's one right on that corner. And there is a big one which is next door, the gas station. There's a structure there. I'll take a look the next time I pass through the area, Spider. Thank you very much for your message. Hmm? Yes, no, the person is impressed with the development, that is taking there, or those developments that he or she is seeing. Spider is a man, so he was. Uh, he, I would know the area as well, so that's why he's raising the subject. Alexander Taylor says, "Good morning, dear friend Dervan. Greetings from Kingston, Jamaica. Welcome home, Alexander Taylor. Good to have you home. And there are so many people who are home. So many people who are home. And those who are visiting. So many people are home for the holidays. And it's not Christmas. This is the Emancipendence holidays. This one says, hi, Dervan. Just tried to call. Got your, who's this now? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, this looks like someone is trying to reach me in my, wearing another hat in my professional capacity. I will respond to the message in short order. In short order. Thank you very much. We'll get back to that message. And Sharon Smith we haven't heard from Sharon Smith in quite a while, but she continues to post all the happenings of the 45-year-old Posemati Technical High School. Well done, Sharon Smith. James in East London is always on the ball, collating the news stories in the UK and sharing them with us. Shadow Transport Minister defies leader and says he is on the side of members, not the establishment. Keir Starmer is under pressure over his stance on these lines after a shadow minister defied or not join the striking workers, members, not the establishment. And another story out of the UK, Max and Olga Herc are still struggling to find somewhere to rent with their 5 young children and 2 mothers, despite raising £20,000 after fleeing to Britain. And more in Opera News. That's one of the news outlets in the UK, Opera News. Some 2,500 people have signed the tongue-in-cheek petition since Tuesday. Johnson remains cult figure in Kyiv for vocal support of Ukraine during its war paintings and murals in Ukraine's capital, bearing the likeness of UK Prime Minister. Thousands of Ukrainians have signed a petition to make Boris Johnson their Prime Minister. Did you hear that? Thousands of Ukrainians have signed a petition to make Boris Johnson their Prime Minister in recognition of his support for their country. Well. Let's see. And another story out of the UK, killer police officer Wayne Couzens, who raped and murdered Sarah Everard, is set to learn on Friday whether he can ever be set free from prison. The former Metropolitan Police officer, 49, was handed a whole life prison term for abducting and killing 33-year-old Ms. Everard as she walked home along through South London last March. Oh dear. And here's another one. William issues heartbreaking plea for swift justice, as saying he was deeply saddened by the death of wildlife ranger Anton Mzimba. Writing on Twitter, Prince William said, "I'm deeply saddened to learn of the killing of Anton Mzimba, who I spoke to in November." More in a moment.
Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
monkeypox is in Jamaica. You're experiencing intense headache, muscle aches, and a rash on the skin. You must isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. All members of the public should wear masks, clean wash hands, and practice physical distancing. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Thinking about college? Why not consider a degree at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education CASE? For affordable tuition and dedicated faculty, make it a great place to pursue one of our 20 programs. Come join us in picturesque Portland. Visit www.case.edu.jm or call us at 993-5377 to see how we can meet your education needs.
This is the time that we all should live as one brothers. This is the time that we all should live as one sisters. So come along, brothers, and come along, sisters. You and I belong this unity. So come along, brothers and sisters.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Take your calls, 876-922-4112 876-922-4112. Keep up the good work, my brother. I'm with you from the U.S. To you, Asperger Richards. Errol Townsend says, "Good afternoon, Sir Dervan." To you too, Errol Townsend. And Asher Ash says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in. Welcome from the UK, Asher Ash. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Yes, I just tried to ask a question. I want to find out something from this is from Willie.
Yes, sir.
The lady that they took away. Did they find anybody or anything like that?
I'm not sure we can definitively say the lady that they take away. You could perhaps say the social media personality who has been missing for some. We know, that's what we know. What is obvious is that the person is missing. Whether that person was taken away, as you put it, is another matter. Yes. No, be careful. Be careful where you're getting that information from, because the easy way to find out, ask yourself and check for yourself: is it being reported on Power 106, on RJR, on IRI FM, on Nationwide? In other words, if it's if it's not, and if it's not in the Gleaner or the Observer, it probably is. So that's key test. That's a key test to find out. If you're not seeing or hearing it in mainstream media, it probably isn't true. Yes. Yes. Understand that sadly, we have people who, to put it in Jamaican terms, as they use in the dance, people who always are looking forward. They want a forward. They want to get quite a number of likes and viewership, etc. Because you can get money from that. You can make money from that. If you are able to take a lot of pairs of eyes to somebody's Facebook page, or for argument's sake, or YouTube or Instagram, the owners of these platforms love to see many likes and eyes watching and so on, and comments going up and down. So a lot of people strive for that, and but unfortunately they use foul means and achieve that by spreading falsehoods and rumors and so on. But if we hear anything, as long as you're listening to this program, this station, you will know. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Alvin Daly says, good afternoon, teacher. Good to be back in class. Hello, Alvin. Welcome. Pastor Evangelist Sandra Fraser, good afternoon to you too. Thank you very much for joining us, and all the very best. We are using another of our devices to stream on Facebook Live. So those who still want to get on to Facebook Live, feel free. We have activated Facebook Live on another device. So you can feel free to log on. It's up and running. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's conclude here. So, the other story James in East London shared with us was that of, well, read for you a bit of it. The husband of a primary school teacher who died with their baby daughter after being rushed to hospital with COVID-19 has described his heartbreaking loss after failings in their hospital care. And the story goes on. Sorry to hear of that tragic situation. Thanks for sharing. Nonetheless, the circumstances notwithstanding. James in East London, all the best. Patrick Guthrie, otherwise known as Jamaica Love, says, bless up, teach in class. Welcome, Jamaica Love. And Georgia G says, thank you. And that's in response to our having sent to Andrew Cannon the message from Georgia G. Ricardo in Glengoff saying, Catherine is tuned in as usual. Good afternoon, Ricardo. And we accept afternoon greetings on behalf of the listeners. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, Neville Salah Solomon, says, good afternoon, Dervan. From listening to you, you don't like talking about the murder committed at Patrick Bailey's house, but this murder is over 5 years now. Why has nothing been said on this murder? Well, it's not true to say nothing has been said on it. That wouldn't be accurate. A lot has been said on it, and the police will tell us a lot has been done. In fact, a few years ago, I remember being at, not the new building now, but that's that same old building at the police commissioner's office, where the question was asked. And that wasn't the only high profile matter on which questions were asked. There was also the matter of that cocaine boat that the police, I think possibly working with the JDF, which would be the Coast Guard or some other arm, but I believe it was the Coast Guard. And the fact that nothing came of it at the time, that we heard that those who were on the vessel on which the cocaine was found were subsequently released because there was nothing to tie them to or link them to the cocaine, which seems rather bizarre. But that's another one worth following up. But on both counts, in terms of both situations, the police have told us that for that they have and, and there is they haven't to link or to to bring into custody anyone who they could prove was involved or had a hand in what happened at that house. So it's not that they nothing, as you said here, nothing. Where's the rest of the message? Right, nothing been said. No, a lot has been said because that question has come up over and over again. And whenever the police are asked, I think the last person I heard responding to that question was Fitz Bailey responding to that question and explaining all the investigations that have been done and still no evidence, no palpable say, hey, we have something here that so so it is. So we have to do better in term if we want to inspire confidence in our security apparatus. We have to, as best as we can, because we know the importance of having witnesses and uh, and just the general citizenry sharing information with the police. That is critical, and that information, some of that information, can crack a much easier than uh, than otherwise. What we have to do, we have to be as thorough as we can. We have to be as relentless as we can, and at least be able to tell the public, at least be able to tell the public, insofar as they are able to say, tell the public what is happening, what is not happening, or give the members of the public an idea of the nature and extent of the work that has been done. The truth is, people. We're emotional beings, and there's a tendency that to think, and I don't know if it has anything to do with watching CSI and those shows on TV and thinking that you can solve a crime. You can always solve a crime just like that, open and shut case. No. And the police and all those within the security services and the investigative apparatus, they have to be very careful. They have to be very careful how they proceed, because the slightest of errors and doubt can cause those cases to be thrown out. But having said all of that, it's not all doom and gloom, because we have seen, heard, and experienced enough to be able to draw a sense of encouragement that the police are in fact working, and not just the police, but in concert with the army. One moment, please.
Class is in session. Hour 106.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876 754 7472. The time by Coast Creek is
3:05. Tune in to Power 106 FM for Milestones in Nationhood. Short features that examine 60 significant milestones in Jamaica's history and development as Jamaica celebrates 60 years of independence, from pre-independence, political independence, and the formation of the Jamaican society and people. It all comes together in Milestones in Nationhood. Weekdays, 12:30 p.m., 4 p.m. Special Jamaican Independence Cookbook is almost here. Jubilee celebration of our finest culinary arts. July 28th. Purchase a copy of The Gleaner from Agent or vendor to receive free 2022 Emancipendence Cookbook. Take out those pots and pans and enjoy an Emancipendence celebration with good food and good memories. Save the date. July 28th is coming. So ready. The Gleaner. The month for us.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And just before we take some more other messages, let's see what we have here. Oh, back-to-back calls coming in. So those who are calling now, Sean is already online. So the listener in Florida who is calling, Sean is already online. That's why you're not getting through. He's on the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. So the person in Florida who is calling us, you will not be able to get through because Sean is on the line holding. Hope you got that. Moralist said, "Good afternoon, tuned in late, did not hear my message read." Well, you will have to speak with a member of our sales team to get sponsorship, get some sponsorship for us to read it again. Because we're not going to read again. I'm kidding. No, but we read your message already, Moralist. Sorry you missed it, but we read it. We read it already. But anyway, she says, I was planning 4 hills planting. I was planting 4 hills of round yam. Today is new moon, and from today until 3 days before full moon, when you plant on the moonshine, your yams come straight and eat fine. When you plant in dark light, it eats a little rough, says Moralist. Thanks for sharing. All the best to you. Sean has been trying desperately to reach us. So let's see if he has the message for us. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon, Malcolm. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
Hello.
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm clear, dear.
Hello, good afternoon. All right, something is wrong with your phone. Something is wrong with your phone. Will I come again, please? Something is with your phone, Sean. Let's continue. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Alvin, we read Alvin's message already. Thank you very much. Welcome to Donald Thomas. Good to have you online. Faye Weller online. Norman Hines and Thomas. Sophia Nemard, good afternoon. Claudia Brown. Pastor Evangelist Sandra Fraser says, good afternoon to Jamaica. I send the peace of God to Jamaica, she says. And here's the caller from Florida now who manages to get in just after Sean's phone problems. So let's go to the caller from Florida. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon.
I listen to you with some of the investigation which we never heard anything of. But
That we didn't hear anything of. We have heard some things, but in terms in terms of conclusion and finding people culpable, there have been some deficiencies in that regard.
yeah, that means for the deficiency, that means something we hardly back up now and then.
No, in this case, we have heard from the police and the commissioner. I think the commissioner before this commissioner, before this police commissioner, the one before, spoke about the issues as well and the work that had been done. But it's been a while, and I don't recall hearing or reading of any of those stories being brought to of those cases being brought to conclusion, other than just left hanging.
So they have one thing what they call cold case file, right?
Yes, and they have. I think up to recently, the police spoke about that, and there were one or two that I think there is one that readily comes to mind is a man who the evidence in court said that he had killed his wife or organized to have his wife killed, and then once they did that investigation, it led them to investigating the same individual for a previous murder of the same form. The individual having killed his former wife, so ending up killing two wives, and so there was that cold case that was brought back to life by virtue of that connection, that link. So there have been instances where so-called cases, if even not so declared, but being so guarded, that those have been brought back to life, and speaking.
God, the system here where if you say me shoot you,
Oh, God
and you have
forbid,
no,
please.
no, that's what it says.
Find another example. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. They have no evidence of me. I no proof of me, but them a investigate. Say it take the detective 10 years, not 10 years, and him still can't. What them file, they go not sit on that until me then I had a while, but then I got so easy. But unless in Jamaica, you something come up and if they call at them and talk show now, pressure you don't hear not much. And sometimes they should give a rundown every now and then, where they stand with that case. I hear mention about they find cocaine in a boat or something like so. Now if you find more than one people on board, usually how they do it, they charge everybody and go to court and then they work out who it belongs to.
Well, would take everybody into custody, just as if they are in a car and a weapon is found in the car.
So when that happens now, we leave a lot of suspicion in people.
Yes, well, that's the point we were making earlier on, that we need to be, notwithstanding the sometimes sensitive nature of police matters, that those involved need to be as thorough as possible, as frank as possible, thoughtful and mindful as possible in their words and deeds, so that, and you're not going to get away from people saying this and saying that and thinking this and thinking that, because people are people. But you want to ensure that you are as as I said, as thorough as possible, as thoughtful as possible, as mindful as possible, and as engaging as possible, so that people can invest a greater level of trust in what you have to say or or do as members of the security services.
The bottom line is when the first thing where people man make a call and big friend, you know, that's why I'm walk free.
Yeah, well, the other thing, of course, is that, as my late mother would say, mouth turn crossway, so it make to say anything. I'm saying people are free to say whatever they want to say in the court of public opinion, all other things being equal. But at the at the same time, the authorities just need to be true to themselves and true to their and committed to their work and their country and their people, keeping people at the center of what they do. And if they do that, more people will perhaps invest more confidence in them and their investigation.
Yeah, one last thing before I go. I think some time last week I come up in the news where they say a young man was sitting inside a Tangier in a car, drive up and they shoot shot in the car. Those three police, two take custody. I hear the crime chief said they're gonna make arrangement for the one that left the island. He's going to work with the authority to have him sent back. I'm back in the news say even right after say coming back because
that's what his lawyer his lawyer was the one, I think, who said that
in the first place, why you left before you talk to the authority?
That will all come out in the wash in court, because there was the case of these two men pretending to be customers who went to a car mart, and they sat in the office of the owner, CEO of the car mart, pretending to be customers. The owner was on the phone, and after a while, one of them goes into or reaches into a briefcase, takes out a gun, and all we heard was the owner of the car mart say, "What me do now?" And they shot him. He was shot there and then. And apparently, the person who committed that crime headed straight to Canada. And the police in Jamaica, working with the police in Canada, very quickly and swiftly brought that individual to Jamaica, and he was eventually convicted. Along with it. That's a word I'm in reference to some people who are in courts and working in an underhand way with others. Yeah, sorry. So we have done that before in terms of bringing them back when they try to run away.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, try to get them back so they will learn them lesson. Yeah, we send the message loud and clear that make them learn them lesson.
Yeah.
I tell me something. This number that I call your hand. If I call Simon on it, is your number?
What happened is that I was the first on-air personality at Power 106 to afford listeners an opportunity to communicate with us on a text line, which is the same as the WhatsApp number, and ultimately a straight line that people can call me directly. And I did that because this is a company phone. It's a company cell phone. I don't own it, technically speaking, but the company
assigned to you.
assigned this phone to me. So When you call it, anytime you call it, you'll be getting through to me. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
350. National Irrigation Commission customers, you can now pay your bills online using your Visa credit card, MasterCard, or NCB key card by visiting the website www.nicjamaica.com. Pay your bill option, then follow the instructions, or visit any one of their office locations and pay using your debit card. The National Irrigation Commission Limited, irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the program, both sides of Power 106 FM. Live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Yes, so this, because I started that, so people became accustomed to messaging me on this. Over time, the station, Power 106 FM, decided a cell phone specifically for people to send text messages and WhatsApp messages and voice notes. And so that's the other number. So that's 295, what's it? 295, I beg your pardon, 279-8598. So that is the official Power 106 FM text or WhatsApp number, 876-279-8598. But as I said, because I started out before the station made that conscious decision of having this dedicated text and WhatsApp number, because I started out using the company phone assigned to me in that way, I've just continued doing it. And the other announcers, the other presenters, the other talk show hosts, the other program hosts use this one phone in the studio, this one cell phone, in terms of sending messages, WhatsApp messages, voice notes, and even calling it directly as well.
Okay, one last thing.
Yes.
That money that the U.S. president give by the unattached shoot, as we heard.
Well, my understanding is that it has been employed, has been put to use. In order to follow up on that, now I'm trying to perhaps the people at the U.S. Embassy in a particular department of the embassy. In fact, I'll see if there's someone at the embassy, a communications representative at the embassy, who I haven't spoken with in a long time, but I'll perhaps see if I can get through a call to her to ask her if she's aware of how that, if they had issued a press release on how those funds are being used.
So someone from the office of the Prime Minister wouldn't be able to issue a press release and tell us what happened?
It is a little easier for me to pick up the phone and call my friend who works at the U.S. Embassy. I don't have that kind of relationship with anybody at the office of the Prime Minister.
Okay. So by next week, you can make a call and then we hear what's going on.
I'll just keep talking to myself and reminding myself there's just so much to do for myself and for others. I'll try to remember to make that call.
All right, boss. Thank you very much. Come here for a run. I forgot work, you know.
That's a good thing. All right. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 6 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. A couple more messages. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says, Dervan, with due respect, Salah, next time you have to send me a message, because it sometimes suggests that you are about to end in an act of disrespect by first saying with due respect. I pay a lot of attention to words and how they are used, and that's what I think. But anyway, he says it should not be hard to solve. Well, solve it for us, Salah. Solve it, and we will make you police commissioner. I'll come back to your message, Salah. But here's Sean once again, desperately trying to reach us. He had an issue earlier on hearing us. Let us see if this is any better. Good afternoon, Sean. Good afternoon. We're hearing everybody else in the house but you, Sean. We're hearing everybody else in the house. We're not hearing you.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan. Welcome. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I am great. I'm doing great so far.
Do you have us on speaker? Do you have us on speaker?
Huh?
Do you have us on speaker?
I'll take the phone off speak.
Okay, having taken the phone off speaker, it disconnects. We have to remember, there are those of us, yours truly included, I get a little carried off and or put off when it comes to noise, just not great, that grate on the nerves, that kind of thing. So with all that noise in the background, it's off-putting. So you want to put the phone in a position where it is all the noise in the environment is feeding into it. It can be quite off-putting for some of us. So Sean, please just try and talk into the phone when next you call, as opposed to putting it down somewhere and shouting into it or talking. All right, keep trying nonetheless. One, sure, you are persistent. That's a good trait. Let's try again. Good afternoon, Sean. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan. Malcolm. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thanks for the third time.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Oh, dear. Sean, you need a new phone.
Hi, Uncle Dervan. How are you doing, sir?
For the 100th time, I'm fine, thanks, Sean.
Huh? You hearing me now?
Are you hearing us?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead now, please.
Hello?
Yes, Sean.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan. Malcolm. How are you doing, sir? You hearing me loud and clear now?
We have been hearing you, but you apparently are having a difficulty hearing us.
Yes. The kids are watching television in the house, and it's so loud. Hold on a second, please.
We're not hearing the television or the children. We're not hearing the television or the children. We're hearing you. Oh, poor Sean. Oh, dear.
Yes.
All right, Sean. Sean, you might have to call us back again. You have to be ready when you call, Sean. You have to be ready. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hearing me?
Go ahead, please.
Yes, okay. Good afternoon again, Uncle Dervan. Malcolm. How are you doing, sir?
What do you think?
No, sir. No?
Yes. You should know by now how I am doing.
Are you hearing me now?
We have never stopped hearing you. We're still hearing you. Looks like Sean needs a new phone.
Hello?
Sean, if you're hearing us,
You hear me now?
if you're hearing us, you get a new phone because you're struggling to communicate with us. So listen to us on the radio. If you have a radio there, listen to the radio, and you will know that we're saying to you that there's a problem with your phone. So try and fix the problem with your phone and get back to us. All the best. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. We want to use the in the spirit of Jamaica 60 to remind ourselves of another great Jamaican, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that in just a moment, so you can stand by for that, which will take us to the break, at which point we will go into a scheduled interview. So let's make sure we bring up this bit of information as we continue to celebrate Jamaica 60, whatever we think about Jamaica 60. Just making sure that we have that information. Right, so here's the story, and we're sharing it today because this actually happened on this day. All right, so just making sure that we, okay, here we go. In just a moment. Technology taking a while. So let's do this and bring online those who have been watching on Facebook Live. Sorry about that. We just are doing things a little differently to make sure you can still connect with us. Hope that's fine with you. All right, so let's now try and take you to that Jamaican story of another outstanding Jamaican, and not just an outstanding Jamaican, but an outstanding Jamaican woman. And since we're getting closer to 3:30 while we try to open this file, looks like we might very well to share the story with you when we come back. Okay, here we go. All right. Right, so the story is that on this day in 1857, a benefit concert for the Jamaican started at the Royal Surrey Gardens in England. The event is dubbed the Sea Coal Fund Grand Military Festival. The Sea Coal Fund Grand Military Festival, and the Times of London reported that although the price of admission was 5 times more than normal, all tickets were sold. But there's more to the story. We're going to have to come back to it. But it's the story of the great Mary Seacole, which we will share in the spirit of Jamaica 60.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a priority
for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The GA remains and resolute to effectively fulfilling this mandate. Jamaica Customs Agency is
independence and the formation of the Jamaican society and people. It all comes together in milestones in nationhood. Weekdays, 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. UNITY is unity. So come along, brothers and sisters. We must leave us war, because two wrongs can never make a right. Look into the age that we're living in today, brothers. Look into the age that we're living in today, sisters. So come along, brothers, and come along, sisters. UNITY is unity. So come along, brothers and sisters. Oh.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon, Herman Bowie Bailey, Inez Ayona Campbell. Good afternoon to you too. Donald Thomas, thank you very much for joining us, and continue spreading the word. A couple of messages to clear. Let's do this. Moralist again, she says, all smiles, Brother Dervan. You said something about noise, which I'm agreeing with you. I live up in the mountains and a little way from the community. I hear the bikes and the sound systems, but it's not getting to me. I really enjoy my space, she says. More power to you, moralist. More power to you. Carlton Levy says, oh dear. All right, Carlton. All right, Carlton, we hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much for your message in reference to. Right. Well, let's leave it there because we don't want to go. We don't want to go there. Thank you very much for your message, Carlton. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. In just a moment, we are going to learn of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, UCC, launching Jamaica's first degree in internal auditing. Jamaica's first degree in internal auditing, which, according to this press release, it will fill a major gap in accounting and finance. And so, to tell us more, we're going to be joined by Ms. Sonia Davidson, the head of department Business Administration at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. Good afternoon to you, Ms. Davidson.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining us. Also online, David Hall, Managing Director, DC Consultants and Associates. Good afternoon, David Hall.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am fine, thanks. Thank you both for joining us here on Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Now, how would you characterize the coming into being of this new program of study, the UCC BSc in internal auditing? How did this come about? Who wants to take that one? Miss Davidson?
Yes, I think it. It's a
Yeah.
proud moment for the university. The business administration department always seeks to find ways to deliver programs that are relevant so that our students, when they leave us, are fit for purpose. And I don't know if it was true just or not, but in a conversation with David Hall came the idea, a dream that he had, and he can tell you about that dream from many years ago, to improve the availability of internal auditors in the marketplace. And so based on a meeting, we realized that, this could be a good synergy. He brings a lot of experience, qualifications, contacts in the world of internal auditing. We bring the academic side to it. And so it has turned out to be a partnership to launch this program. First of its kind in Jamaica, Bachelor's in Internal Auditing. And we are very proud as we enter our 30th year. We are really happy that we were able to launch and we will start the program in September.
Very good. So, David Hall, clearly uh, you weren't daydreaming. This has come to life.
Very much correct, and thank you very much, Ms. Davidson. It's been a pleasure
Yes.
working alongside you as
Yes.
we have put this program forward. Certainly not. Over 10 years ago, my background is finance auditing. I am an internal auditor. At the time, I was the president of the local chapter of the Institute of Internal Auditors. We have a chapter here and about 11 chapters across the Caribbean. And one of the gaps that we identified was that there was no formal program, degree program, for students to matriculate and to have a degree in internal auditing. Many persons might not realize there's a difference between internal and external auditing. The external auditors will certainly be associated with our external audit firms, the Pricewaterhouse, KPMG, and those other companies. They look primarily on the financial statement, the values of the company, but they would certainly provide their independent assessment at the annual general meeting and so. So they have a method of matriculating. They do a first degree and then they end up in their ACCA. But internal auditors, there is not a formal process. There's a certified internal audit program worldwide that auditors end up doing. That's a professional certification, but no degree. So that was something over 10 years ago. Time has passed, as Mr. Davis has said, a conversation that ended up in us recognizing that they, as a very innovative university, along with the idea and the Internal Audit Association, we could partner to make this work and provide a formal degree program for students to end up with a Bachelor of Science in Internal Auditing. I just want to say here that persons can understand who are internal auditors, different from, as I said, external auditors, who primarily focus on the financial statement. Internal auditors actually reside. They are employees of the company, and they report dually. They report to the head of the company, whether CEO or the director, whoever it is, but they also report to the board. So the internal auditors, they look over the controls across the entire business, including at the board level, and they're able to write their reports independently and provide the exception that they recognize, and that would give the management and the board an opportunity to see how effective things are working in the company.
Right.
So that's it started, and we're very excited to be able to work with the UCC in terms of putting this degree program forward.
What would you say that there was a shortage of internal auditors, a paucity of internal auditors, or is it a case that that there was a demand for more, and therefore you?
Great question.
Uh-huh.
But certainly, I mean, there are auditors currently spread right across Jamaica in different companies. What happens is that most persons would have probably done a degree in accounting or in finance in some other area, and they end up as internal auditors. What you see in Jamaica now regarding governance and these control issues certainly tell us that we need to have more auditors, but not only more auditors, auditors who are trained, right, with all the skills and modern technology to be able to assist companies in looking over their control.
Right.
So I would say one of the areas that government looks towards where they're going to focus on, internal audit certainly has to be one of those to help assist our companies as we move forward.
Right. So, Mrs. Davidson, can you give us an idea of the prerequisites for those who hope to matriculate for this program? Mrs. Davidson? Oh, it sounds like we lost.
Hello?
Hello? Oh, there you are, Mrs. Davidson. Thank you. Right, I was asking about the prerequisites, the requirements for those looking to pursue this BSc in internal auditing at UCC.
Okay, thank you. It is 5 CSEC subjects, or GCE, with English and mathematics, which are the basic requirements for matriculation into most universities. So we ask for 5 CSEC subjects, including math and English, or GCE. But we also have an option at UCC because we understand the Jamaican marketplace. So we also have the facility for mature entrants to come in, bring themselves up to speed for matriculation, and then enter the program formally. So if you have been working in this field, as many of the so-called internal auditors are, they've been working, doing this job, but not formally trained, not formally qualified, we allow you, if you're 25 years and over, to bring that experience. Come with it. We look at your portfolio, what you have done, and we allow you to enter the program, do the necessary foundation courses to bring you up to speed for matriculation, and then you move on into the degree program. So there are 2 ways of entering our degree programs, and we find that we have quite a number of persons who are working and studying, entering through those portals.
I see. What about the duration of this degree in internal auditing?
The degree can be completed in 3 to 4 years full time. If you are working and you choose the part-time route, it may take you probably 4.5 to 5 years, because of course you're not going to carry a full load as someone who is just doing the studies full time.
Yes. And let's just bring back into the discussion here, David Hall. What are you picking up on the ground with this information having been made public? What's the level of interest like, and how do you propose to meet the demands, especially if they are coming to you in significant numbers? Can you handle it?
Well, certainly, I believe we can. We have set out a process and a program. As David could speak a little bit more to that from the university side. But my role will be to work with the local internal audit body, which I've already tapped into. We are also in the Caribbean.
I'm so sorry. One moment, please. We need to take a break. We'll pick up on that point in just a moment.
You're
listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Tune in to Power 106 FM for Milestones in Nationhood, short features that examine 60 significant milestones in Jamaica's history and development as Jamaica celebrates 60 years of independence, from pre-independence to political independence and the formation of the Jamaican society and people. It all comes together in Milestones in Nationhood, weekdays 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Our guests this afternoon are Mrs. Sonia Davidson. She's head of Department for Business Administration at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, otherwise known as UCC. And we also have online Mr. David Hall, Managing Director of DC Consultants and Associates. And the subject has been and continues to be, as we speak, the UCC's degree program in internal auditing. And going to the break, David Hall, you were mentioning the Caribbean.
So my role is to work with the university to attract other candidates. So we are working with our local chapter in Jamaica. We have a Caribbean chapter also, and because a part of the course will be virtual. So we have also been informed and they're pretty much excited about it. And we want to get into our schools because our students must see that internal auditing will be a viable career path. And it's something that I believe that if we have the demand, we certainly will be able to provide them with the resources and accommodate them at the university. We will be not only having lecturers who are just theoretical, but our lecturers will be practitioners like myself.
Yes.
I'm an internal auditor. I've traveled all over here and overseas. And so we'll be having lecturers who are in the field and who can help to bring real-life situations to bear in the classroom. Not only in internal auditing on the finance and accounting side, internal auditing is now also on the IT side, because what we need to be aware of internal auditors, they look like controls, across the company. And most companies now have moved into the digital arena. So we have to be able to audit what we call through the system. And so applicants who are minded in terms of IT, another excellent career path for them as internal auditors who are IT specialists. And we call them IT auditors. So, yes, we believe actually that few more courses that we will be focusing on. So when students leave, they are fit for business. We're talking about risk management. That's a big issue right now, understanding your business, where your key risks are, forensic, being able to look at details and fraud management, what can we do to prevent fraud, computerized auditing, and data analytics. These are modern day issues that students will be able to leave and to hit the ground in terms of companies employing them. This last thing I want to say on this in terms of attracting students and saying we will be able to provide a good career for them once they have completed, is that once an internal auditor is able to look right across the company, not just at one process. So an auditor sees right across and is able to bring best practice to an organization to help them to achieve both their strategic and their operational objectives. So I'm excited, and I certainly know that we'll be able to provide any number of students. We have a target that we're working with who apply and will work through the next couple of years with us.
Right. Thank you very much for the additional information in that regard, David Hall. Mrs. Sonia Davidson, now to the business of accreditation. People who might want to know. All right, so uh, what's the nature and extent of the accreditation for this particular program of study?
Okay, so the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean is accredited by the UCJ as a university college, and so we are able to offer this degree program to our students. The program structure and everything has been submitted to the UCJ, and so we have
That's
their
the
blessing
University Council of Jamaica.
of Jamaica. That's
Yes.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have their blessing to go ahead with this degree program. What is very interesting, and to follow up on what David spoke about, is that at our launch, we had two company executives speaking to the role of internal audit in their business. And we were very happy, especially to hear from Mrs. Leanne Bruce, the Chief Audit Executive of the Grace Kennedy Group, who spoke about the fact that internal audit was not her career goal. But just like David said, because you are exposed to all aspects of the business, you can forge a path to any way in an organization. And through her exposure, that is how she ended up in internal audit and being the Chief Audit Executive at Grace Kennedy Group.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Courtney Cabell of the VM Group said the same thing. It's not an area that people particularly like because they're sort of seen as a policeman.
Yes.
But it's an area that needs to be appreciated because this is how you drive the respective policies
Mm-hmm.
and you get the control measures in place so that you don't end up in scandals. That this happened at your institution or that happened at your organization.
Yes.
So the role of internal audit is very, very important. And we see this as a way, as David said, to provide graduates who are fit for business and can help us to clean up this landscape where we see so many scandals happening in business organizations, and it really ought not to be that way.
Yes. And obviously there are opportunities as well. I think you may or may not have touched on it earlier on, in terms of in not just private sector but public sector, which could do with a lot of help in that regard.
That is quite correct, and we had the blessing of Minister Favour Williams at our launch as well, speaking to the importance of this discipline, and we are working closely with the Internal Audit Directorate of the ministries to ensure that they send their employees to get the formal training.
Right. Right. So you start accepting is it applications?
Applications are open through the UCC website, ucc.edu.jm. There is a little button that says apply here. You just click on it and you go through the procedure of putting in the details, and our registry department will take it from there and get you on board.
Oh, so such is the nature of the process these days. So
it's very easy, yes.
So you don't
it's done online.
Yes.
You don't need to come to UCC at all.
That's good. But in terms of what about conducting the program, the program of study itself? Will it be a mix of in person or as opposed to virtual, or you haven't decided yet based on?
Students will have the choice.
Okay.
We offer the program blended.
Mm-hmm.
So classes will be offered face-to-face, classes will be offered virtual. Students choose their class time.
Okay, I see. And David Hall, what would say to you down the road at some point that yes, we have achieved what we set out to achieve, and we will continue achieving it? What are some of the yardsticks or the markers that the signposts that you will be, that would give you that sense of satisfaction, being one who has been intimately involved in the bringing this degree program for internal auditing to fruition?
Certainly. I think we already have one milestone, which would have been students who participated as an elective course, because we have taught a course called Principles of Internal Auditing.
Oh.
We taught that course 2 terms, 2 semesters, and at the launch that we had I think 2 or 3 students who participated in that course, and they gave their feedback, and I believe it was very, very well received in terms of the practicality of the course, and so much so, I think 1 or 2 of them have actually now registered for the full-time BSc degree. So for me, each year that we have our students coming on board, the students coming in from schools, that is going to be an encouragement. I teach along with others who will teach, and just hearing them and other kids who don't know anything about it, and to see them latching on and becoming very interested, that is good. Over the 4 years, we will have milestones in terms of the number of students. We'll also be making sure that each year we get their feedback in terms of how the course is going, and the practicality, because some students will also be working, and how they're able to apply in their operational environment. So I believe that the numbers and the feedback in terms of the practicality of the course are 2 key things that we are looking for. The Institute of Internal Auditors International, they also had a milestone, and they'll be following up with us. I want to tell you what it is. The university is the first university in the Jamaica and the Caribbean that would have been recognized by IIA International. That's the Institute of Internal Auditors International. They're based in the US. And our university would have been the first local university in the Caribbean which has matriculated into their, what they call, Internal Audit Awareness Program. And that program recognizes universities worldwide that have an appreciation and have started a program in internal auditing. So they will be working through that program also year on year to move to different levels in that program. But so far, we have received their blessing as the first university in Jamaica and the Caribbean who have been recognized in their program.
Well, we certainly want to wish you all the very best, and the entire UCC family and your students and potential students all the very best in this 4-year degree program for internal auditors. And we want to just give you an opportunity now, Mrs. Davidson, to remind those out there listening who are excited, who are interested, who have family members who they think would be keen in trying to get on board for this internal auditing degree program. Remind us of the contact information, please.
Okay, thank you so much. All the information is available on our website, www.ucc.edu.jm. They will look on the undergraduate programs, and they will find the BSc in Internal Auditing there, as well as all the other programs offered by the university. On that same website, there's a little button that says Apply Here. They can click on it and start the application process. Applications are open now. We have early bird discounts to the 16th of August. So the earlier they get on, get their application processed and get their approval, then they'll be able to get discounts on tuition fees. And the program starts on the 4th of September. Classes start September 4, 2022. So we
Sounds
invite everyone to get on board. The information is there, or they can call UCC 876-906-3000 and ask for our recruitment department. They will be dealt with one-on-one and walked through the process.
sounds rather seamless.
Yes, it is.
Well done. Congratulations once again. Thank you so much for sharing with our listeners the details of this new internal auditing degree available at UCC. All the best. Take care,
Thank
both
you
of
for
you.
having us.
Okay. And to you too, David Hall. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
401 on Power 106.
Under the law. Know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. Under the law.
Brought to you today by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
whether you're a small farmer, street vendor, big investor, every entrepreneur got to wise up about your money. You have to make sure say your money secure. When you need to grow, you have access to more.
Financial inclusion means that individuals and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products.
Yeah.
Their needs.
Access to more money, whatever your business needs. When you work hard for your money must work for you.
This week we're auditing our agent banking operations. You're new in the audit department, so let me fill you in.
I'm sure the bank has to make sure that our agents are following our guidelines and representing us well. Is that it, Mrs. Lewis?
Something like that.
Uncomfortable.
I left a document on
Whenever.
the desk this morning.
I've been looking
Okay.
through it.
That's a checklist which tracks all the agents we have appointed to provide banking services on our behalf right across the island.
I didn't know that our bank had so many agents.
And we have to audit every single one of them at least once a year.
Is that so, Mrs. Lewis?
We must. A major part of our responsibility is to supervise agents by conducting periodic reviews to make sure that the agents have appropriate safeguards to manage risk. Get what I'm saying?
I think so. Things like anti-money laundering training.
You get the picture.
Well,
Yes.
it looks like one agent fell through the cracks. While I was
Yeah,
glancing
yeah.
through the checklist, I noticed that the agent has not been audited for 4
Yeah.
years.
4 years?
But you see, he has gotten
That's not supposed to
the
happen. We could get into
the
a lot of trouble for that.
what you call it, the nod, the approval
That is definitely
to assist with the
and appointing the
with,
taking institution like this bank
what you call it.
shall be responsible for the
One
management
second.
and ongoing monitoring of its agents, and in the performance of this function shall conduct periodic reviews of the agent banking operations at least on an annual basis to ensure that its agents remain eligible for appointment and, among other things, implement operating safeguards that appropriately reflect the risk profile for the agent banking operation. That's how it is under the law.
Brought to you today by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Join us Wednesday at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 at 9:55 p.m. on Power 106 FM for Under the Law.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
along, sisters. U-N-I-T-Y is unity. 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 This is the time that we all should live as one, brothers. This is the time that we all should live as one, sisters. So come along, brothers, and come along, sisters. U-N-I-T-Y is unity. So come along, brothers and sisters. Oh, oh, oh. We must leave us war, because two wrongs can never make a right. So look into the age that we're living in today, brothers. Look into the age that we're living in today, sisters. So come on.
Que ahora es en español, son las 4:06. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. Well, the time just changed. It's 7 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And let's see, Natalie says, I share your thoughts, but all the training and experience can be achieved if companies stop hiring downright thieves and fraudsters, plain and straight. Well, everybody on the face of it and at first blush, you would think would be of a certain character and so on. But eventually you find out what really happened or did not happen, or what's up with them, etc. So it's not always that straightforward to figure these things out unless you have prior information to be able to ask the person questions with respect to that information that you have. But so it is. Ash, if I turn off my mic, I turn you off, and you won't be able to hear me at all. But rest assured, Ash, I don't use curse words, and I'm very careful when I speak, whether on air or off air, and I know when to speak in coded language as opposed to spell it out. So thanks for your concern, Ash, but we have it covered. Thank you. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's see now, a couple more messages. Hello to Fern. Oh, Fern Pancham Ward. Good afternoon to you. How are you? It is so good to see you. Let's see now. Fern, she used to work at the U.S. Embassy here in Jamaica. She's a journalist. She used to work at the U.S. Embassy here in Jamaica. And before that though, she wrote, when she worked for, what's the name of that newspaper? Was it the Herald? I'm trying to remember. But the long and short of it is that she did a story on me and my work in media at such an early age, and I still have that clipping, that newspaper clipping. I'll always remember that. I can't even remember her surname now because I think there's another name. Oh, White. It was Fern White. So now it's Fern Pancham Ward. Right. Well, Fern White, it's good to see you online. Thank you so much for listening and watching. All the very best. And Natalie Winter in Washington Gardens, in reference to our discussion or feature on the internal auditor's degree program, says we need more auditors with integrity and honesty and cannot be influenced. Well, here's the thing, Natalie Winter, which is why we always say, or as often as we get the opportunity to say it, that we have to when it comes on to it's because it's not this kind of behavior or this issue is not unique to auditors. It's all of us, whatever field we're in. So that's why we always say on this program, our hope going forward, and we shouldn't only hope, we must work towards that, is to ensure that we help to produce more men and women of integrity. So it doesn't start when they become adults, from even before they're born. From even before they're born, that we have a situation where we get back, some of us who have gone astray, for us to get back to the kind of socialization of our children that is necessary to, first of all, keep them grounded, and also to help them and guard them and guide them and keep them and protect them, so that they, and school them when it comes on to these matters of honesty, truth, integrity, all of those characteristics and more. And it must be not just what we tell them or share with them or ask them to do or encourage them to do in terms of their behavior and the choices they make, etc. In addition to that, they must see us doing what we are telling them to do or encouraging them to do. So those values that we're trying to pass on to them, you must not only share it with them, we must not only share it with them and encourage them and inculcate in them those fundamental values and attitudes, etc. But we must live it. They must see us operating at that level as adults, as big people. And the more of that kind of socialization we encourage, the more we are likely to have less problems when it comes to finding men and women of integrity to occupy positions of not just internal auditors, but all other positions that you can think of. In every position you can think of, we need honest people. We need trustworthy people. You get the picture. We need men and women of integrity, but we have to produce them. We have to nurture them. We have to prepare them. We have to socialize them. And we have to be consistent in how we do that. Once we're able to do that, these children are set for life. And even if and when they go astray, they will come back to their center because they were sufficiently socialized. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Jamaica Hospital Supplies has medical equipment for health at home.
We have oxygen supplies,
Wheelchairs,
digital blood pressure machines,
adult diapers,
Sure Comfort diabetic supplies,
CareSense blood sugar meters,
humidifiers, incentive spirometers,
urinals, bedpans, leg bags,
CPAP supplies, body fat scales and catheters. Jamaica Hospital Supplies for all your home care needs. 66 and a half Halfway Tree Road. Call 929-2850. Visit our website for more information.
Contractors and developers, Coast to Coast Quarries is having a 20% discount sale on cash purchases on all size stones. We specialize in washed sand and stones of all sizes. And for all your concrete needs, including blocks and marl dust, look no further. Coast to Coast Quarries, Albion, Yalis, St. Thomas. Call 706-3230. Take advantage of this super deal.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for Milestones in Nationhood, short features that examine 60 significant milestones in Jamaica's history and development as Jamaica celebrates 60 years of independence, from pre-independence to political independence and the formation of the Jamaican society and people. It all comes together in Milestones in Nationhood, weekdays 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:17. 现在几点了？4点17分。17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people, we know it's summer. We know you're on holiday for the most part. And in fact, I think summer school ends this weekend. Yes, I believe so. But you know what we always say? Even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. We notice that Steve in Toronto, Canada, is trying to reach us. But Steve, we are using that device you're calling us on to stream live on Facebook, because the device which normally streams both programs, we have not been able to, because we're constantly using the computer, we have not been able to have it worked on so that the memory can be increased. And so there's a bit of a memory problem there, and that's why we can only stream one on the laptop now. So Steve, if you are listening, if you're calling me on my personal cell phone as you're doing now, you're not going to get through, because it is being used to stream Facebook Live. We're streaming Facebook Live on my personal cell phone. Whistling Lawrence, good day to you. Whistling says top of the evening, top of the afternoon to you. From Port St. Lucie, Florida. I gather we will be in your neck of the woods, all things being well, next month. Stand by, Whistling Lawrence, and all those Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in Port St. Lucie and elsewhere in Florida. Stand by. Coming your way soon, next month, all things being well. Nayoka Nelson, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the very best to you. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon, thanks for calling. Good afternoon.
Okay, it's time for the good.
We noticed that you were desperately trying to get back in touch with us yesterday. I wonder why. You wanted to respond to Raskava?
I said, my voice note, and I say, you.
No, I haven't been able to listen to the voice notes.
Okay, can you see the blue line? So I say the speech. But anyway,
no, the blue just, no, that is an indication that that the most that could have happened was that you would maybe tap on the voice notes, but I didn't actually listen. It's just to acknowledge receipt.
No problem. We are here.
So I haven't listened yet. So, but go ahead and tell us. You wanted to respond to Raskava? Was that it?
We want to keep uprightly this evening as
Yeah.
much as we can, you know.
Right.
Raskaba, Honorable Raskaba, he always call and talk about Jamaica and Jamaica affairs.
Yes.
I do have no problem with him. But several times I'm on call and talk about Africa and notice him always come with the opposition after. So I want to tell him to stop that, you know. Because yesterday evening I hear him say, you can't go to Ethiopia as parasites to live from Ethiopia. We are blood brothers and sisters. That is Majesty tell us, you know. We are blood brothers and sisters. One royal, sovereign, nation, well, kingdom of people. You know, a skilled man and woman left from Africa come down here. We are not jobbers, not beggars. It's we built Jamaica and the Americans, you know, as you all know. So we are masters of creation, you know, in all manner of workmanship. We black people here in general, you know. So we want to know for Rasta, black people in general, we matter about parasites, we can't go home as parasites, you know. Because man say Africa is for the Africans, those at home and us abroad. So it must wise when he must show this card, you know, try to blind people eye from Africa. Concerning Shashamani, when we hear him talk about, you know, with propaganda he must spread, you know. Because the man say the Aroma people in Ethiopia, and them did help His Majesty, you know, in the time of the invasion, Italian invasion, you know.
We had a Jamaican who helped as well.
Okay.
From Saint Elizabeth. That's
public intellectual.
That's
not Jamaican, and African. I will never correct you back. From that, you know. So remember these things, you know, and this history concerning the tabernacle in Shashamani from 1996. And I, Bobo Shanti, also was helping building that tabernacle, you know. The Naya being the host tabernacle, World Federation, all of them, you know. Yes. The authority tell us that it's in the pipeline to cut a road, you know, in the future. So we must build the tabernacle more inland. The authority move the fence where them they build, you know. Move it, tight in the way where the road have a cut, right? All right. So go back to the authority and tell them to the place open up. We'd love to build back the fence. So the authority grant that freedom to the Bingy House, you know, our World Federation. And I, Bobo Shanti, go to the authority here and tell them that. And that freedom was granted, right? Now that the road is cut in, you know, the development of the road, all of us in Africa and in Shashamami. Just like in Jamaica here, if you're going to cut, if the government a cut a road and people live in that region where the road are cut, normally the government will make them move and give them a recompense, a compensation with them outside thing. Similar going on in Africa, you know. So when him come on the radio talk like, I show this card, like we are not one people and African Ethiopian doing welcome we. And that is my show. He must stop it. I hear an elder brethren the other day, you know, call and say if he did want to go to Africa, he would have changed his mind to a Raskava behavior. Every time my man call and talk about Africa, he come with him opposition spirit, you know. So he must stop that behavior if he's a Jamaican and he want reparation, money if he's spending at Jamaica. He go and talk about him reparation, and when telling your God I speak, he may try to oppose God, you know. Because we are the Ethiopian gods and goddess. If the world believe it or not, that's what we is, you know.
All right.
Ethiopian royal gods and goddess, you know. So, Raskava, you need to change your behavior, you know, and stop so discard, because you never know that. That it's in the pipeline from 1996 for the road cut. Everyone now we are going to use that. The road we are cutting at Shashamami, of all of us. Development of all of us, Shashamami. So when you have your colleagues then come from from WhatsApp and all over the place. You know, to social media. Attack on ignorance. The man said it takes behavior. It takes behavior to be a savior on the continent, you know, or over in Liberia, as Marcus Garvey said. So we can't carry Western world mentality or Jamaica mentality in Africa. We have to let go that. That's not the passport royal to go in Ethiopia, you know, and we show Ethiopia in a bad light. In this judgment, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Let no evil speaker be established in the earth, and he must change in behavior.
Yes, we hear you loud and clear. Thanks for the call.
Repatriation is our own development in Jamaica and the Western world, and we can't stop that.
All right, take care. Thanks for the call. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Sean has been trying for about 2 hours now to get on. Let's see if his phone is operating better now.
Hello, Uncle Dervan.
Yes, let's just go straight to it, because you've asked me that question a million times and you still weren't hearing me.
Yes.
So let's just get to it. What's on your mind this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan Malcolm. How are you doing, sir?
I'm sure you know by now, because I've been saying I'm fine, thanks, and I'm giving thanks for life all those times when you weren't hearing me.
What I have on my mind this afternoon, before I get into my subjects, Uncle, can I ask you a question, Uncle?
Go ahead.
Where do I get my intelligence from? I don't know where do I get my intelligence from?
From your socialization.
My socialization, thank you very, 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 very much. Okay, that's my socialization. Anyways, Uncle, on a serious note, I have a few issues to report. Last night, the light keeps on going away very fast. The GPS is giving some problems.
It sounds like your phone is giving problems again, Sean.
All right, I'm going to take the phone off. You hearing me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
All right, Sean, you're gonna have to try us again, because you seem to be having phone trouble. That's about the 5th or 6th time now that we have tried to bring you in on the system, but sort out the phone, Sean, in the meantime. Let's take another call in the meantime. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
It is good to hear you today, sir.
Good to talk with you. Welcome.
I am Peter Xavier Williams.
I suspected so.
From the JDF.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, sir. I just called you to give you a little bit of history.
Yes, please.
I have in my possession the 1962 stamp, commemorative stamp, which was struck for independence. It was heralded in by Corporal Francis from the military band with the bugle at the raising of the flag at Independence Day, 1962.
Oh wow, that's impressive. I've heard. I think there are stamps being printed for Jamaica 60. I think I read that somewhere.
Yes, sir. That was 1962 for independence.
Yes, I know.
Yes,
I'm just curious. Well, I hope I get an opportunity to look at the stamps that were printed back in 1962 to compare them to those printed in 60 years later.
Well, I might give it to your father on the last Sunday of the month, because I have a meeting with him and others.
Oh.
Ex-office Jamaica Telephone Company, to which I was security manager then.
Yes. All right. Let's hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Poro 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Treat yourself to famous Jamaican jerk dishes at Sweetwood Jerk Joint. Succulent pork, chicken served with mouth-watering side orders. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, open every day. Call 876-906-4854 or come to 78 Naxon Boulevard in Kingston in a secured environment. Across from Emancipation Park, all COVID-19 protocols observed. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, the home of Jamaican jerk.
Gen Zers, we're back. Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
Your special Jamaica 60 Independence Cookbook is almost here. A jubilee celebration of our finest culinary arts. On July 28th, purchase a copy of The Gleaner from any agent or vendor to receive your free 2022 Emancipendence Cookbook. Take out those pots and pans and enjoy an Emancipendence celebration with good food and good memories. Save the date. July 28th is coming, so get ready. The Gleaner, when life unfolds.
Y ahora es en español, son las 5:29, quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点29分。29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Moralist is on WhatsApp, sending us another message. We'll come to that in a moment, but let's continue with, let's see if I can remember the full name again. Mr. Williams, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for holding.
Yes, sir. I'm also saying that I was privileged at that time to be presented with the Independence Medal.
No, that is quite a privilege.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Because I was enlisted into the Army in 1952, the 6th of October.
10 years before independence.
Yes, sir. And that will tell you that March coming, I'll be 90 years old by the grace of God.
You'll be what?
90 years old, young. 90 years old, young by the grace of God.
That's incredible. That's
Yes,
incredible. That's excellent going. You're seeing the ball as big as a breadfruit now in cricketing terms.
Yes, sir. But
Yes.
I will tell you more.
Yes, please.
When I was graduated from Newcastle, that is in January of 1953, the commanding officer was so pleased with our intake of 80 young soldiers that we were also privileged to form the Guard of Honor for the visit of the then Sir Winston Churchill of England. He was the guest of honor, and the parade was held at Big Tree down in Parade Square.
Hold on. What year was that?
In 1953, the 23rd of September.
You're perfectly correct. In fact, I've read the history, and I also read that he was the first to receive the keys to the city of Kingston.
Yes, sir.
That's part of the history that
Yes, sir.
And he is, of course, the one who popularized the V is for victory sign, which to this day is used by the Jamaica Labour Party as their symbol of support for their party.
And he also showed off his big cigar.
I saw a picture of that. Yes.
While inspecting the Guard
of Honor. Yes.
Yes, sir. And I was privileged to be on that parade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was also privileged, sir, to lower, not to take down, but to lower, respectfully lower the British flag from the flag mast at headquarters, Caribbean area then. Now, putting up the Jamaica flag conducting the Jamaican flag, the building was now changed from headquarters Caribbean area to headquarters Jamaica Defense Force.
Oh, I see.
Yes, sir. So all that and more, that is what I wish to remind our listeners that I was there when all these things took place. And the coronation of Her Majesty the Queen, I was in the army before she was crowned. And on the coronation, I was presented with a certificate of participation for Her Majesty the Queen's coronation. It's beautifully framed, and I have them all on display.
And I'm thinking all of those stories and those pictures and symbols and insignia, etc., all of those should be put in a book.
Well, I'm very fortunate to tell you that today I had visitors from the Gleaner.
Oh, so that will be in the Gleaner, that series they've been doing. Nice, good, very good.
Yes, sir. So today I had the privilege and the pleasure to entertain visitors from the Gleaner who took all those into consideration. I was also there when the first group of Cessna aircraft was delivered to the Jamaica Defense Force.
Oh. Wow.
And also the opening of the Coast Guard at Port Royal.
Which is where it still is.
Yes, sir. And so I was there from the beginning, and being proud to say I'm the foundation of the Jamaica Defense Force. Also member of the previous short-lived West India Regiment.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, this is...
So, with that information, I just wish to say I will be at the flag raising, conducting the flag raising ceremony at the Gordontown Square on
Independence Day,
the 6th of August.
And appropriately so. You have earned that.
Yes, sir. So God bless, sir.
Bless
and your
you.
listeners as well. Have a happy emancipation and
independence.
And celebration of Independence Day.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
And have a good day.
You too. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Good afternoon to Carleen Carr. She says, good afternoon, both sides. Hello, Carleen Carr. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, Sir D, in my research, I noticed that a lot of our ancestry DNA have no connection with Ethiopia. Not to dismiss the caller's claim, we're mostly from Nigeria, Benin, Ghana, and closer to the West Coast, says Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida. Thank you very much, Albert, for your message. Moralist says, I saw the Bible says, sir, train them up with respect to our children. And I have a plate, she says, from 1962. My grandma was married on that day and that year. Well, now we know, moralist. Thanks for sharing. All the very best to you. And let's try for the 1 millionth time to hear Sean clearly and consistently. And Sean, you don't have to say good afternoon again. You have said it 1 million times already. Just go on to talk about what you want to talk about. Go ahead, please.
All right, let's move on. Anyway, Uncle Dervan, the light was giving problems last night. It keeps on blinking very often.
Sounds like you need to report it to the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS.
Yeah, they keeps on giving problems. They it keeps on giving a lot of problems.
JPS.
Yes, we must report the issue to them. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I have two more things to tell you. I did tell you that I did think it was a 28-year-old policeman that committed suicide the last time, but it's not a 28-year-old man. It's a 48-year-old policeman that committed suicide.
I don't even remember that conversation. Sorry, but
because
so it is.
because the reason why people have to do that to their own life because what they've been through. Because in this thing called life, we all been through ups and downs.
Yeah, and we don't want any of us to have to go there. We would rather not. And so all we need to do is to continue to support each other.
Yes. Especially when I was listening to the news on Monday, they were talking about a 26-year-old man that was stabbed to death and was pronounced to death at hospital. Uncle, you know that when you hear bloodletting stories of the news, a person can think that they are swimming in blood. That is a very bad idea. Very bad.
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do in that regard.
Yes, that is true. That is very, very true. The crime and violence won't come to an end in this country at any time soon. All we have to do, we have to take action against those people. We need to report them to the police. That is true. We cannot be silent all the time.
Good.
And one last thing, especially the other day, I was listening to another talk show. They were talking about, I'm going to report this issue to you guys right now. I'm very serious. They were talking about a woman that always call in at the talk show and she always make a lot of sweeping statements. They must sentence her. They must take action against her, report her to the police. How could a woman make a sweeping statement like that? They say she always lie, tell a lot of lies on the talk show.
But how? I'm sorry you didn't call that talk show.
Repeat that?
No, you should call that talk show and express yourself.
Hello?
We can't help.
Hello?
Oh boy, he's having difficulty hearing again. Not a good day for you today, Sean. Maybe tomorrow, because it's been about the 1 millionth time now since we connected and had to end the conversation, because you start off hearing and then you go off not hearing. So sorry about that. Hope your phone troubles will be sorted out pretty soon. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth, in reference to the caller earlier on sharing his life story, saying, wow, 90, cheers. Steve in Toronto, Canada, we hope you heard our message eventually, or we were trying to say to you while you were calling us on our personal cell phone that we're using the phone to stream Facebook Live, so you would not be able to get through to us, but then you kept calling, so which would suggest that you didn't hear. Sorry about that, but so it is. We're just trying to accommodate our listeners, as many of our listeners as possible, as we fine-tune the technology. We'll have more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
It's Emancipation Park's 20th anniversary celebrations, and you're invited to the party. Join us on Sunday, July 31 for Thanksgiving, featuring Elaine, the NHD Chorale, and the Denham Town Drummers. Then on August 1, it's Redemption Fest with quality cultural and gospel performances backed by Peter Ashbourne and the E-Park Big Band. Both events start at 6 p.m., admission free. That's Emancipation Park's anniversary celebrations, July 31 and August 1. It's the 2022 Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show, and Power 106 FM is in the mix with comprehensive team coverage all 3 days, July 30, 31, and August 1. Join us as we explore the wonderful world of agriculture. We'll bring you all the news, views, and excitement from the Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show at the Denby Showground in Maypen, Clarendon. Power 106 FM's coverage of Denby 2022 is brought to you by SCJ Holdings, the Sugar Industry Authority, the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE, H&L Agro, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, the National Irrigation Commission, the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association, the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, Nutrimix, the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica Limited, the Seprod Group, Alternative Power Sources, the Road Safety Unit, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority St. Anne, St. Jago Farm Supplies, Israeltech Jamaica Limited, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Shagor Aggregates Limited, and the Jamaica Customs Agency.
Get the most accurate news, sports, commentary, business, and more every Sunday from the best. The Sunday Gleaner. Discover a new job, home, or upgrade to a new car. Get the latest in entertainment, health, finance, and so much more. Purchase your copy this Sunday. The Sunday Gleaner gives you everything you need and more. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 5 menos 13. Quelle heure est-il au français? Les 5 heures moins 13. 现在地点了5点加13分. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Good afternoon to Laurel Lindsay. Thank you for tuning in. As we promised earlier on, in the spirit of Jamaica 60, let's hear about another outstanding Jamaican. And we're going to start off by highlighting an event, a significant event in her life that occurred on this day in 1857. It was a benefit concert for the Jamaican nurse Mary Seacole, and that started at the Royal Surrey Gardens in London, England, on this day in 1857. The event was dubbed the Seacole Fund Grand Military Festival, and the Times of London reported that although the price of admission was 5 times more than normal, all tickets were sold. Mary Seacole was born Mary Joan Grant. Mary Joan Grant. She was born in Kingston, right here in Kingston, Jamaica, in 1805 to a Creole mother and a Scottish father. It was from her mother that she undoubtedly inherited her love of nursing. Her mother, nicknamed the Doctress, kept a lodging house at East Street, Kingston, where she nursed army officers and their families from Up Park Camp. At age 12, after much observation, Mary was allowed to help her mother with the patients. It was not mentioned at what age she married Edwin Horatio Seacole, an invalid, who was a godson of British naval hero Admiral Horatio Nelson. Still newlyweds, they moved to Black River, where they established a store. That's right. She realized that many soldiers were dying not from war wounds, but from illnesses such as cholera and dysentery. She therefore felt that her experience with these diseases would be of value in the Crimea. Mary set sail for England soon after, but despite a letter of introduction to Florence Nightingale, she was not recruited to join the group of nurses going to the Crimea. She spent months in London, trekking from one war office to another, failing to find acceptance. Eventually, she decided to go on her own and cashed in the assets she had and set out to build her own hotel for invalids in the Crimea. Mrs. Seacole built a hotel called Spring Hill, 2 miles from Balaclava and a mile from the British headquarters. Before long, the British Hotel, for so she named it, had become a refuge of warmth and comfort where good, well-cooked food could always be had for soldiers of all ranks. She dispensed medicine, meals, and even occasional entertainment. She made home visits to the campsites. She procured supplies that were otherwise unavailable. Mrs. Seacole would set out carrying bags of lint, bandages, needles, thread, and medicine, accompanied by mules loaded with sandwiches and other food, wine, and spirits, arriving on the battlefield at dawn. She was sometimes under fire, attending the wounded and taking food to the famished with an ever ready hand. She risked her life in faithful devotion to the soldiers she loved so loyally. She returned to London deeply in debt. However, the British commander-in-chief of the Crimea forces and the Duke of Wellington and Newcastle organized a 4-day festival of music and gave her the proceeds. Mary Seacole died in England in 1881. 1881, that's a significant year as well. I think that's the same year that Devon House was built, 1881, built by George Stiebel. Right. So there you go. Another bit of history for you. Another bit of history for you. Steve in Toronto, Canada, wants the numbers to call the landline 876-922-4112 Steve, 876-922-4112 Once again, 876-922-4112 Over to you, Steve. Hope you caught those numbers. So that was the story of Mary Seacole, and there's a statue of Mary Seacole at, I think it's called St. James's Hospital, overlooking the Thames, the River Thames, and the Houses of Parliament. That statue stands majestically. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. All right, let's continue. That person got tired of holding. Let's move on. 876-922-4112 the numbers to call. And let's see if we can give you another gem. Let's see. How about a quick word on... Well, let's go to 1948 for another problem that is still with us. 1948, E.R.D. Evans, Minister of Agriculture, gave an undertaking to members of the Jamaica Agricultural Society at its half-yearly meeting that he would recommend to government the reintroduction of flogging as a short-term policy for predial thieves. It happened on this day in 1948. E.R.D. Evans, Minister of Agriculture, gave an undertaking to members of the Jamaica Agricultural Society at its half-yearly meeting that he would recommend to government the reintroduction of flogging as a short-term policy for predial thieves. Well, how much has happened since then? What a thing. Let's look at 1954. First Class Constable Florence Nelson, one of the first 3 women to join the police force in 1948, resigns. First Class Constable Florence Nelson, one of the first 3 women to join the police force in 1948, resigned on this day in 1954. The 3 were herself, Florence Nelson, of course, Sylvia Myers, and Iris Toller, the first 3 women to join the police force in Jamaica in 1948, Sylvia Myers, Iris Toller, and Florence Nelson. And we have another bit of Jamaican history for you. Just a reminder that we've always been excelling in track and field. We go way back. Our heritage goes way back in that regard. In 1952, on this day, the Jamaican relay team of George Roden, Herb McKinley, Arthur Wint, and Les Leng won the 4x4 meter event, gold medal in Helsinki, 3 minutes, 0.03 seconds, and established a new Olympic record. And Jamaica's joy knew no bounds on this day in 1952. And with its small team, you want to hear the contingent of Jamaicans? The contingent of Jamaicans who went to the Olympics in 52. It was just 7 of them. Just 7 of them. So Jamaica had a small team of 7. And Jamaica stood at 15th position with 39 points, winning 2 gold and 3 silver medals. And then we could go to 1958. Jamaica's athletes brought to 10 their final tally of medals, won in the 6th British Empire and Commonwealth Games at Cardiff in Wales, what is now known for short as the Commonwealth Games. The Commonwealth Games. Well, they used to be the British Empire and Commonwealth Games, and they were held at Cardiff in Wales on this day in 1958. And the relay team of Fulford Jones, George Carr, Mai Spence, and Keith Gardner took 3rd place in the 4x440 yards relay in 3 minutes 10.1 seconds. Jamaica captured 4 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze medals. That's what, 4 plus 4, 8, and 2, 10. So 10 medals in 1958 at the Commonwealth Games. We wish them well at the current games in Birmingham. No need to say Birmingham. Not Birmingham, but Birmingham. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Wednesday, the 27th of July, 2022. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5, live from, where will we be tomorrow? Runaway Bay in St. Anne for another in the series of town hall meetings put on by the Ministry of Local Government. Till then, take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.